This piece is entitled My Caddyshack Summer. Growing up, I believed that summer was for fun, while my father had this crazed notion that summertime was for work, for manual labor. One summer, he went so far as to get me an interview with the caddy master at the local country club. I imagined he'd look a lot like Ricardo Montalban. He'd offer me a grape knee-high as we sat in the cool repose of his Corinthian leather appointed office, and he'd observe that I was preternaturally cultured beyond my years and that my services would best be used as a poolside pizza taster. But he looked nothing like Ricardo Montalban. In fact, he was a grim young man with a pockmarked face and all the warmth of an ice pick in January. I nicknamed him Captain Happy. I got the job. I was a beginning caddy, the lowest of the low, while starting at the crack of dawn. So the next morning, my very first assignment was one of 4 businessmen. I'll never forget the look on my guy's face when I told him I was his caddy. He looked at me like I was his mail-order bride, but I didn't quite match my picture. When I saw his bag, I understood why. It was bigger than me. When I tried to sling it over my shoulder, the bottom dragged on the ground, but that was the least of my worries. You see, I knew nothing about the game of golf. I didn't know that I was supposed to follow the ball's trajectory once my guy hit his tee shot. So when he said, "Did you see that?" I thought he was bragging. It turns out he was asking me if I'd seen where the ball had gone. So when he repeated the question and I replied, "No, did you?" Let's just say that in that moment, I redefined the phrase teed off. On a later hole, all 4 players were preparing to putt. For a moment, though, they clumped together for a morning beer. I walked up on the green and found 4 quarters on the grass. Cool, I thought. I pocketed them knowing exactly how many games of pinball they would buy. When the 4 returned, they couldn't find their markers, a term I'd never heard before. They must have thought I was legally insane when I denied any knowledge of them, while my hands were thrust deep into my pockets, which coincidentally jangled defiantly with their illicit cargo. But the rock bottom came on the 9th hole. I was tending the pin, that metal thingy with the flag on the end. I was standing next to it, holding it, while my guy putted. Now, in a perfect world, when my guy hit the ball, I would lift the pin from the cup, allowing the ball to drop into the hole. But as his ball rolled toward the hole and I pulled, the pin wouldn't budge. I pulled harder to no avail. I looked up. The ball was barreling its way to the cup. I reached over with both hands and pulled so hard the entire cup came out of the ground. The ball hit its levitated base and bounced into a sand trap where it died a silent death. No one said a word, but if looks could kill, my guy would still be serving time. After that, Captain Happy relegated me to caddying exclusively for women, elderly women with hair the color of gunmetal. They'd start a round of golf on a Monday morning and finish sometime Tuesday afternoon of the following week. So though the bad news is I never had a career as a caddy, the good news is that I am now one badass mahjong player. Stay healthy.